Hello and welcome to Bear Atheist. Today we're doing something interesting, visiting an interesting channel. It's a Muslim channel, Ajimatar Akim. Jeez. Okay, so I'm just gonna say Akim. I'm gonna put a link in the description if you wanna just look at the entire thing. I don't generally care. Um, and he's gonna answer an interesting question. Why did Prophet Muhammad marry Aisha at such a young age? Now, is there really a answer for this that doesn't sound like he's a pedophile? That doesn't make him a pedophile? I don't know. I guess we shall all find out. And also a very interesting, picture to start this all off. $110 for half an hour counseling. Of course, with a 1.12 million subscribers, you still have to have another way of making money. Like it's not all about making money. Let's get into the video.
Sheikh, I got this question once, and I just want to justify it as well. So I recently got this book called The Sealed Nectar, and I've been trying to find the answer in the book. I couldn't, so I don't know what to do. Can you justify why Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam married Aisha
Why not?
at such a young age?
Come again?
Now, before all this, isn't it? I'm just gonna point it out. It's interesting how I'm not sure why. Let's say the Muhammad Abu Salam. I didn't hear it entirely. Why not just say Prophet Muhammad? What's the rest supposed to be? I mean, if it's not, and I get it, it's not put necessarily at the place of Allah. What's the point of putting such specialty to his name? What's the point of raising it up to like a stent of a deity? Doesn't that also like present the exact BS that Christians present with their Trinity? If you're presenting Muhammad up to the hood of like a deity or even like close to it, not just present the same shit you guys are mad at Christians are. Like, I'm not saying this makes any sense. Obviously, it doesn't. Religion doesn't make any sense. I'm just pointing out how stupid this actually is. But, anyways, let's keep going.
Why did the Prophet marry Aisha at such a young age?
Why not? What's the problem?
Now, I think the kid is confused as much as I am confused. I thought he was saying why not at first, like why not marry her. But then when the kid asked the question again, I was like, "Oh, I'm confused. Was he not saying why not is the answer to the question the kid asked? So the kid is confused. I got it right. He's saying why not marry a 8 years old child as a grown ass man?
I don't understand, to be honest, because many people say that it's a bit strange and I
Akhi,
don't.
akhi. You don't care or give any attention to what others say. If you have unconditional love to the Prophet ﷺ, if your conviction of the Quran,
See? What the fuck do you mean unconditional love to Prophet Muhammad? He was a messenger of God. Who gives a fuck about having love for him? If you present him as a deity, then please go ahead. Again, none of it makes sense. But don't then point out and go to Christians and say, oh, look at your Trinity, you have three gods. When you also are presenting Muhammad almost as a deity. What the heck do you mean love him? It was a man, just like anybody else. When you believe in bullshit, I mean, bullshit is expected to come out of your mouth. Excuse my language.
And the belief in Islam is unequivocal. There is no doubt in it. You should not even listen to dogs when they bark, as we don't fall on our hands and knees to bark back.
Okay, you should not listen to this. Is this actual good things to teach children? The interesting thing about this question is that the boy is actually also asking this question. It's not like someone just asked him and then he got curious all of a sudden. People don't just ask questions like this unless they actually are curious to begin with. My point is the person that asked the boy the question and the boy is curious. And what did this guy tell them? Ignore your curiosity. If you love Muhammad, because that's required to be a Muslim, I guess, you could just ignore everything else that doesn't make sense. Oh, and also compare the people that are asking you these questions to dogs, because that makes sense.
I've said this so many times. I've explained it in a prolonged video clip answer. It's on my YouTube channel. You go and check it. And you'll find that the Prophet ﷺ did not marry Aisha except because Allah ordered him to do so. And
Oh wow, another pedophilia god ordering his prophet to marry a 8-year-old. So I guess I answered the question why. Once God tells you to do something, including marrying an 8-year-old, apparently to achieve what exactly? What's the point of doing that? Can't you already marry someone that's of age? Also, how do you know God told him to do it? Are we just gonna believe anything that someone writes down? How do you know God? How do you know Allah told Muhammad to do this?
Aisha was engaged before the Prophet ﷺ proposed, when she was that young. And she loved him as she loved no one else. And he loved her as he loved no one else.
Wasn't he already married to begin with? Did he only had one wife? What the fuck do you mean he loved her the way he loved nobody else? Now I'm gonna search it up. Did Muhammad had more than one wife? If so, what happened to the others? That's something interesting. And if not, your first wife is a 8-year-old? Jeez. The fact that these people would try to make something that doesn't make any fucking sense and try to say, oh, look at this. God ordered them to do it, so it definitely makes sense. We can't necessarily prove God did it or order them to do it, but because the book claims that that's what happened, obviously that's what happened, and he's not a pedophile because God said for him to do it. Now, will you look at that? He had more than one wife. Am I surprised that he had more than one wife? There are 12 of them. So let's go back and listen to what he has to say again. I guess I was pausing too much. Let's hear the entire answer.
And Aisha was engaged before the Prophet ﷺ proposed, when she was that young. And she loved him as she loved no one else. And he loved her as he loved no one else. Her father and mother were so pleased with it. Everybody in the family were so honored with it. There was no one to complain among the idol worshippers themselves, his enemies, the Jews, the Christians at the time. No one ever said, whoa, what is this? It was the norm. This was
Hey, we know that. Anyone that ever studied history, anyone with common sense that ever picked up a book of history, we know that. Women at that time were not even given the hint of freedom. We know this. The problem is that a prophet that you guys basically love, let's not say worship before they get into my head and start calling me Islamophobia, that you guys love, married a 8 year old. He's a pedophile in today's standard. Now, in his time, you can consider him a normal guy, just another idiot. But in our standard today, he's a pedophile. And you guys are loving this guy and raising him up like he's some good guy. Plus, he wrote the Quran. Not directly because he couldn't write, but he technically wrote the Quran. And that's the person Allah think is the best person to choose to write his holy words. A man that married a 8 year old when he had 11 other wives. I must point this out. This guy was not deprived of sex. He had 11 other wives. And I find it interesting to go after a 8 year old. The problem is the fact that you guys lift him up. Nobody really cares about a guy named Muhammed that had 12 wives and all of a sudden he picked up an 8 year old. Obviously, during that time, it's expected. It's expected for people to carelessly do things like that. If you have enough money, you can do whatever the fuck you want. The problem is when you present him as some moral guy. Then we have to present that and say, this does not accord, it does not line up with what you're presenting. It's the same with the Christian God. So saying, oh, everyone was okay with it is an excuse does not make any sense. Hear yourself. It doesn't make any sense.
the normal marrying age. Only 100 or 150 years ago that this started surfacing. For 13
Why do I feel like you feel uncomfortable with the fact that it started surfacing? Because it's a problem. 8 year olds shouldn't be getting engaged and marrying someone at that age. It doesn't make any logical sense.
centuries, nobody ever complained. It was normal.
Just because everybody was doing it doesn't mean the people of this divine God, the right religion, should also be doing it. Again, you bring up a claim and we look at your religion and we point out how stupid your claim actually sounds. Or we have a loving God, a loving Allah that cares about everybody, including women. All we have to do is present the text that does not support that, including the one where you can beat your wife, including the one where an 8 year old would actually know right to actually consent is marrying off to your prophet, the one you lift up and beloved and loved, apparently, and is loved by every Muslim. That's all we have to do. And that's exactly what's going on.
So don't listen to the dogs when they bark, because this is the only thing they found to be dubious.
No, it's not the only thing they found. I mean, it's like leaving a dog outside, going around with your analogy. Why the heck not? Because in this scenario, it seems like the dog is smarter than you. So we might as well keep on going. The dogs find more than just one place to dig on. It doesn't not dig on one spot. It digs on literally everywhere. It's like a mad thing. Like, and that's exactly what is going on with the Quran, or really most religious texts. You could find O's in every single fucking story. Once you have supernatural, which they can prove, that's one thing. Once you find illogical in the stories that doesn't align with history, that's another thing. Once you find out that the prophet is a fucking pedophile, that's another thing. Once you find out that they actually love this prophet still and and behold him and raise him up like he's a god or something, that's another whole.
In their sick minds, and those among the Muslims who have weak iman may be fooled by it and may listen to them. May Allah protect us all.
People are actually paying $110 to meet with this guy. I need to have a conversation with him. $110 could go a long way in helping people instead of having an half an hour of BS rampage with a bozo who apparently is trying to justify why a prophet that's supposed to give us the text of the almighty being, Allah, that made everything, would be marrying a 8-year old. People are insane. People are going insane. This is so stupid. And that's all I have for you today. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. It's boring without a comment. Leave a comment below. Thank you all for watching. Have a lovely one.